All right. I think. All right. I think we're live. There was a delay, and my intro didn't work, but I believe we're live. So, what's up, everybody? I am going to be talking to Will Kincaide about the drama that we've been having going on. Get a little organized here and send Will the link. So I wasn't sure if I'd be able to stream to this channel today or at all anymore. Because last night, as I was reviewing Will's response, I was getting really angry, and it was taken down. So I wasn't sure what was going to be the results of that, but it looks like I am indeed streaming this morning, and woke up with a little bit of clarity. I was very angry last night when I went to bed. Things will be changing on the channel, but there was two tweets that really, despite some of the shit that Will said, responding to my live stream on my other channel yesterday, and some of that shit really made me mad. John Grishala sent a tweet or a response to a tweet to where he was like, I hate this drama. I don't like this drama. And then this morning, Will tweeted out something funny that Amazing Atheist had said about the drama. And I was just like, fuck it. We'll bring Will on and we'll just talk it out. And it'll be me and Will, because Will's really the guy that I've had a relationship with and we've developed a friendship with. So, if that can be salvaged, despite some of his tactics, then I think it's worth having a conversation with him, talking about this shit, and we'll see how it goes. So, yeah, just waiting on Will. Let's see what he's doing. I'll get along, sure. So, yeah, well, I know he's just getting home from work. So why the change of heart? Because last night I was really pissed, and it's not really so much a change of heart. It's people are going to be who they are. I think that, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to adjust everything. I think that I don't really want the channel to be like a drama channel where it's going back and forth. John Grishala is who John Grishala is. And I'm not trying to dead name him here. I know he wants to be called by the other name. I think it's Yohavan. And I'll try to do that. But I don't think it's worth being angry. And I think it's always worth trying to hear out, because Will has maintained that he's just busting balls. Although, like, for the last week, they've been talking about me a lot, and I've tried to ignore it as best as I could. So, yeah, hopefully it'll be a pretty good conversation. Me and Will usually get along when we're actually talking. But I am a little sad because yesterday things came to a head behind the scenes of the channel. And it's made me a little sad this morning. Now, me and Ali got in an argument. I'm not going to go into the details of that, I got really angry at the details of it. It got really heated. Um, and I'm sure that I have a lot of fault. I shouldn't have been so angry. But I was standing true to my convictions, I think. I'm trying to do the right thing in the face of hard shit. And I don't like well, I'm not gonna say that. But unfortunately, me and Allie will no longer be working together. So it's got me a little sad this morning. Hopefully that friendship will one day be salvaged, but too much was said. And we have a deep philosophical differences on moderation and censorship and cancel culture, that it's finally just come to a head, that we're just no longer going to be able to work together. And it's got me sad. I'm still angry. I'm still angry about the conversation we had. Still very angry about the messages I woke up to this morning. But that's private shit. And I hold no ill will towards Allie. I am very grateful for all the help she's given me on my channel, for the great conversations we've had. Hopefully, like I said, one day we'll be able to mend these fences. But right now, I think we both need time away from each other. So yeah, I'm a little sad and depressed this morning. It's why I'm doing coffee on with Knock over here instead of the main channel. I canceled the modern day debate tonight because I am sad. I'm sad that I got so angry with her last night, that I was yelling and screaming. I think I was standing true to my convictions. I don't feel bad for my stance. I do feel bad for my reaction. I think Will, when he gets here, has a little bit of responsibility for making me pissed off, but ultimately, or he doesn't have any responsibility, but Will made me pissed off. Will and John and all of them. And it wasn't the right time to have the conversation. So there's a lot of responsibility on my end here. I was very angry. But I'm not going to go into the details of that. I got decisions to make when it comes to that conversation. But I know Will said he was booting up his old computer, so hopefully he'll be in just a moment. So I am going to be streaming more on this channel. I am going to be turning it back into what I've always wanted it to be, which was a political channel. I'm going to try to put out at least one video a week, and really delve deeper into politics, into lefty politics over here. I'm going to call it the Raging Snowflake. It should be hopefully a decent channel that at least gets that one video a week, if not more, maybe a live stream a week as well. So yeah, I've got a lot of thinking to do about how the Rage is gonna move forward. Seeing Red is gonna no longer be a show. Secular Literary Circle will no longer be a show on the page. I'll go back to having my own personal show, and then we'll have Apostate Alliance every Sunday. Might end up being a good thing for the channel, just to kind of center it back around myself again, and just be who I want to be instead of having people tell me what I should be. Now, I know that there's going to be a lot of talk about me among certain circles. That's fine. I'm still going to stay true to allyships and I don't really want to call them friendships, but people that I've gotten along with. I'm going to stay me. I'm going to stay true to who I've been. I'm going to stay true to the things that I've stood for and the things that I've said. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow anybody to dictate to me what I should say, what I shouldn't say, who I should say it to, who I shouldn't say it to. I'm going to run my channel the way think it should be ran. I'm going to ask for the moderation that I want to have in my in my side chats. So there's going to be a whole lot of thinking for me to do over the next few days about the course of it. And, you know, I had always wanted to bring more people in and have it more than just me. And I think that one of the issues is once I did do that, I didn't really like that so much. I think I gave too much authority, too much power, too much partnership, because ultimately the channel's mine and the decisions are mine. And while I value input, I'm not going to be bullied or manipulated into anything. And I'm not saying that anybody did that, but I'm just saying that over the course of the past several months, moderation has been a repeated issue that I brought up. I feel very strongly that if moderation is I think moderation can kill a live chat, and it can kill views, and it can kill the ability to get the shows out there, the ability of people wanting to come and participate. If they feel like they're going to be moderated over the smallest and most pettiest of things, then that's a channel killer, in my opinion. So it's been something that's been argued about behind the scenes for quite a while. So I'm going to be thinking about all of that. I might be, I know Discord server was passed back to me. I honestly wish that wouldn't have happened. I think Ali spent a lot of time building that Discord server, and I think that she should have kept it, and it should have been hers. And the community she built there should have been hers, because I'm not even sure if I want to fuck with Discord for a while. And I don't know where Will Kincaide is. He was supposed to be coming in. If he doesn't, oh well, we'll talk some other time. So I don't even know. Like, I just felt like I needed to talk a little bit without going into too much details. I mean, obviously the changes will be seen on the Rage moving forward. People are going to ask. I don't have a bad word to say about Ali. Ali's a beautiful person that helped me out. When I would ask her not to, she would just insist upon helping me out. So like, these issues aren't anything against her personally. And I do feel bad for yelling and screaming last night, because I felt like I wasn't being listened to. It was a conversation I wasn't expecting to have. It was a conversation that should have happened earlier. I think that's the most thing the thing that I was most upset about was it didn't come to me right away. It was talked about amongst other people, and then it came to me, and that rubbed me the wrong way. But there's Will. But shit is what it is. What's up, man?
Yo, what's up? Are we live now?
Oh no, shit. So yeah, I've been just kind of rambling for a while. Just talking about shit going on the channel. But I wanted to bring you on, like, because yesterday you had me fucking mad. I don't know if you saw my live stream on this channel. It was pulled down by YouTube because I was ranting and raving.
which live stream? I didn't get a notification for anything.
It was on this channel.
The one that we responded to in live time? Or
no, I was responding to your response to
this is a different channel entirely. I forgot you said you were doing this on the other. Yeah.
So it got taken down, so I wouldn't like that. That's the whole reason I'm doing it on this channel, because I'm like, maybe I should just make sure I can still stream over there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I'm lagging like a son of a bitch. Look at the frame rate. Does that look shitty to you?
Yeah, you are a little laggy.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Is the audio level all right? People tell me on my stream that I'm too fucking loud.
See, one of the videos I was watching yesterday, you were really low, but no, you sound really good. So
yeah, I changed the levels. Yeah.
So was the Amazing Atheist really talking about our beef and that shit you?
No, it was a joke, because there's some shit going on between what's his H3 and what's his name?
Yeah, I figured like our little
Keemstar.
Oh yeah,
Keemstar. Yeah.
I figured our little petty beef. I was like, no, he's fucking around, but it was funny.
Yeah, it's fucking around. Yeah.
But
Did
it
you
kind
see
of
the
put me in.
fucking?
Go ahead.
Did you see the thumbnail? I wanted you to use that as a thumbnail. The get along shirt.
Yeah, I probably will. 'Cause I still got to put in a thumbnail. But
Oh
yeah,
shit.
it put me into a mood this morning. That I was like, fuck it, let's just talk it out. So I don't
Lovers
like.
quarrel.
Yeah, I don't. I've never really much liked John. I got a little
No, I
triggered
know.
when you brought him into the server, and that's on me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to own up and take responsibility this morning. Shit hit the fan with me and Allie yesterday, and I was just kind of rambling on, trying to own up to some responsibility with that. But I think a lot of this drama was I got pissed off because I was seeing shit, and for whatever reason, I chose to be triggered by it, and it's led to where we are now.
A bunch of bullshit. I know, because you and I are actually not that dissimilar. See, because I got some rules. I play stupid fucking games, but I put rules on my fucking games. I don't know where your fucking rules are. You just cool off when you cool off. But you were like cool on Twitter, so I was like, okay, fight's over. I don't give a shit anymore.
It's because I got other shit going on now, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking, I'm just not gonna worry about drama too much, and I'm not gonna be I'm gonna take responsibility. Now I didn't ban anybody. I don't really ban people. I don't even enjoy Discord anymore at all. But,
no, I know.
I think that shit.
But
I think some people might have been having some lenience. I know Shay was having fun with you and John when she put you into rules.
I know. Yeah, and that's really, I think part of the reason for the escalation is because Shay gets into fucking... Are you familiar with gay ops? Do you know? It's when people pull some bullshit and they're spying and cross-spying across, and drama and nonsense that's caused by one person that's escalated by somebody else. Well, I think that's a Medicare term, Mr. Medicare. But Shay was pulling some bullshit, and she's a mod in your server, and then Lo got involved. Lo's my fucking co-host. Do you know anything about Lo from any of my...
No, I was just talking to her, and I love Shay. Allie's had some talks with Shay about moderation, but Shay goes back a long time with me. But
I know.
But I forgot the question. I'm sorry. I was kind of just looking at chat. Tony Design.
No. Yeah, I know. I was addressing your chat too in that video. Every comment that came up that was directed at somebody else and whatnot.
You were talking about like the gay thing. Like, no, I've never heard of that. I do.
He's involved in. She was involved in some bullshit drama. See, because Lo's trans female and male. I guess I know Puerto Rican. Oh, for fuck's... That's me. The camera just does that. I don't know why. I can still hear you though. Anyway, so calls himself a cripple. I don't know what he's in a wheelchair a lot of the time. The whole gay, the whole thing, right? And the whole reason that I brought Lo on was because Lo came into a Brett Keane stream once and was calling Brett on his bullshit, and then me and Lo got Brett fucking triggered, and he kicked us out when we said that Jesus was a fictional character. So I brought Lo into my server. Brett actually kicked us out of the server for that. That was bigoted. So we started talking. I brought Lo on because I thought that it would be a good contrast to me and John and some of the other people that we have on. So I brought Lo on to call me out my bullshit directly. Anyway, so that's how we started hanging out. And Shay was like talking down to Lo, and that fucking triggered me because your boy stands up for his friends, all right? So I fucking...
And so do I. I understand that.
They were like, Shay was talking to Lo, and Lo even said this to Shay, and she was saying something about like, basically implying that Lo couldn't make his own decisions for himself, and that I brainwashed Lo, and I was gaslighting to the nth degree, like a super powerful the messenger reveals type big brain moment or something. I was like, that's so fucking stupid. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, see,
Like,
I'm not familiar with. Did that happen in my Discord server?
no, it was in
Oh,
the Transgarter server. I think I'm pronouncing that right. There's too many vowels and consonants doing
yeah,
weird shit in that name.
I make Calvin say it just so I don't mispronounce it. But yeah, I think it's Transgarter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not familiar with that. The
It's
only way
cross drama. That's what I mean.
the only
Yeah.
way I know Lo was on that day. Lo was the one that was. She sent me a link, or he sent me a link to Brett Keen's stream that you guys were having there, and he
Yeah,
wanted me to
yeah.
come in, and so we had talked, and then shit hit the fan, and the next thing I know, I'm getting a message from Allie like, "Did you ban Lo?" And I'm like, "No, I'm talking to Lo." So then I messaged Lo. And that's when I saw like we weren't sharing the same server. So I think it was Angelica that banned Lo. I think Angelica had good reasons for it. She was she's a channel administrator and she was just done with drama. And I think
She's
Lo,
over. She's one of the admins in
yeah,
Shay's server. Shay kicked
well,
Low because Shay was like, Will's doing, because I was up to no good over there, but I wasn't doing anything bigoted or saying anything racist or anything like that. I was doing a character.
and that is the thing,
But,
you have this reputation for being up to no
right, right. I left people that were I. It's too much to fucking explain. I explained this to Lo and John and a couple of other people what I was doing, and we were having a laugh. But more to the point, Angelica is a mod over in Shay's server, so it's cross server drama.
All
So
right.
which is it's fucking that's and I knew that way ahead of time because people fucking leak me shit all the time.
Well, yeah,
So
and I don't think that when Angelica banned Lo from my server, she was trying to be, petty or anything. I think it was kind of getting Lo kind of got caught up in the crossfire of as the drama was hitting shit was hitting the fan because I was in the general chat just raging the fuck out. And then I was in mod chat telling them like, finally I got to a point like, do whatever the fuck y'all want to do. And I think Lo got in the crossfires of that.
yeah, so I was fucking okay. So I was on. This is another thing that happened that I forgot to mention in the video because we were just addressing points and stuff. But you got caught up in this with Low because of Draw Muhammad Day. You didn't show up because of the Brett Keen T-shirt thing in your server, and that all happened on the same day, right? So, fuck, this is so stupid. So
yeah, no, like
I
that's what I was thinking about this morning. I was just thinking about the escalation, and I was like, man, we're both pretty fucking stupid.
we're both fucking morons. At any rate, so I saw that Shay had an argument with some cartoonist who I guess is racist or alt-right or something like that. I don't fucking know. And I announced. Oh,
Sorry, Tony's saying you were doing a character over on Transgarter.
yeah, that's true. That's what I did.
So I could definitely see where Transgarter would be like, we don't want that shit here.
No, I get that, but it's like I told Bo not to do anything or get involved when I was doing my shit. But anyway, so I announced that we were having somebody on that I knew that Shay didn't like, and so that she would get pissed and throw a hissy fit, right? And it took until your stream, and I addressed this in the live chat when there was scrolling, that she didn't even look. She just assumed that we had it on, right? So this is just taking shit on blind faith because I know that she does this shit. She thought that we actually had some kind of neo-Nazi on Draw Muhammad Day or something. Like, she just takes the bait every time. It's classic. It's just so funny to me. I'm just such a fucking shithead.
Your little feud with Shay has went on for quite a while. So I mean, there's been several times where you've made comments to her that I've been uncomfortable. I know she definitely goes at you pretty hardcore. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's been two-sided for quite a while now. I've tried to stay out of that. You know, Shay's a big girl; she can take care of herself. You're a
Right.
big guy. I've really tried to stay out of it, unless like slurs and shit starts getting involved. Which I don't think I've ever really seen that from you. I have seen it from John.
No,
You know.
I shit post, but I don't fucking know. But yeah, I mean, this has been going on since one of the first times I was on your channel. The hat meme, the fucking beanie thing.
It's been a shitstorm for a while, and I think even Shay told me really not to worry about it, that she'd handle it herself. I think I have interjected a couple times and taken Shay's side, because you can be you can be a shitbag.
I am. You're not fucking wrong. See, this is the difference. Okay, so people lump me in with Brett Keane, but the difference between the old Brett Keane posse and the new posse is that I won't own up to whatever the fuck is going on. So like that shit with Brett and the fucking he said about your fucking kid and all that shit. I've said I think this will be the fourth time that thing that he said that happened never fucking happened.
Yeah, I've actually seen since you told me that you respond. I went back and watched a couple of your videos, and I did catch where you have said that, and I do appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'm not a bad faith actor like a lot of the fucking people that Brett Keane has had. Like fucking in them. I know you don't know any of these fucking people, but this is a history that goes back almost 15 fucking years. So, I mean, oh god, I can't believe I've been doing this for this long. I'm such a fucking loser.
Yeah, so the point is, like, you and Jay have been having a beef, and I know, like, one of the major concerns was that other trans people on our server would see your and Shay's back and forth, and that did become an issue, because we really, unless it's in the shitstorm areas, we really want to keep the general kind of a safe zone for our allies and for people that are marginalized, so they don't.
Yo, that's cool.
I mean, that did become a major concern among the moderators of the Discord server.
Right, if StreamYards has to be a neutral territory for us to talk, then I guess that'll have to be where it is. I understand that you want to run your server one way, or your mods, I don't know. I don't know who really exactly runs the server, who has the final say on everything. But
up until now, it's been Ali, and again, like, you weren't here when I was rambling. I really wish that Ali would have kept that server for herself, since she had been the one that spent so much time building that community, and I don't even really like Discord anymore. It's been a shitstorm for me ever since I joined.
Yeah, I mean, and I've said before, like, me and you have had some fun times playing ESO and just shooting the fucking shit, like,
Yeah, like when I was playing with you, I didn't have any issues. It was when I was playing with Brett, and Brett, I even mentioned, like, Brett went out of his way when we were playing together not to allow Vaughn and John to say some of their more heinous shit, because he knew I wouldn't like it. Right. But I mean, when it was just me and you playing, I didn't have an issue. Brett mainly, the only problem I really had playing with Brett is he wanted me to play with him all the time, or if I was playing by myself, he'd get manic over it, and I'm like, dude, sometimes I'm a very lone, solitary figure often. I don't need to be in groups all the time. I don't think he understood that about me.
That's the issue. I try to get liberals and leftists to fucking hang out with me, but they don't want to play with me. Nobody wants to play with me.
Well, I don't even know. Like, usually, I'm not even sure if I'm going to get into a game like ESO, because I'm such an old school WoW player. Like, most games eventually just aren't enough. They don't compare to WoW enough, and I don't have enough real time to get into games like that anymore. I spend way too much time doing this shit outside of work and taking care of my kid.
Dude, I keep trying to tell you gotta go over to BitTube. Just try, just like as a side project. I know you're doing your YouTube shit, and that's cool. But this is a ship on fire right now. Especially with people's sponsorships going away. People are not doing.
Oh, we lost.
Yeah, no, I'm back. It's fine. It's not a you thing. It's a me thing. I don't know why it does that. Anyway, their sponsored ads are going away. I forget who pulled out. I think G Fuel pulled out and a bunch of other people. So no more Raid Shadow Legends. No more. Maybe not Ridge Wallet. Dollar Shave Club pulled a whole bunch of sponsorships with individuals. So,
which is probably why they're cracking down on channels more.
Yeah, but we're going away. all of us, we're all going away. That's why I said
Yeah.
BitTube, because if you look at John's, for example, YouTube channel, he gets maybe 20 views on a video. If you go over to his BitTube, he's clocking thousands of views. I thought he was bullshitting for the stream, but I looked at his fucking channel on BitTube, and it's thousands of views and more interaction too. And you gotta. The problem is that they don't promote YouTube. So, like, if you have it set up like BitChute to automatically put your videos up, it kind of deranks it, but it's there. But if you directly upload and use the description like you would tags on YouTube, you can get thousands of views easy. There's a huge. They're looking for new content all the time. So I think that's. I made an announcement video on my channel that's where I plan on going back to, because I was getting thousands of views over there too. Then I just stopped uploading regularly. So
I've thought about trying different platforms. I know the algorithm's really been butchering away at the main channel. But
yeah,
I still feel like right now YouTube is the best way for me to spread my activism, and that activism, is like propping up the marginalized, letting them know that they're not alone.
right.
You and Shay have had your issues. I really hope that what happened between me and Ali doesn't lead to people that I care about taking sides with that issue. I'm not interested in that. I wish no ill will towards Ali. I will always have love for people, and I'm going to continue just being myself. And that what happened last night with Ali really woke me up to the situation with you guys, because basically I don't like John. John's the one guy that I don't like. I think he drops slurs, and I think that those slurs come from a place of bigotry. That's my opinion. I don't know the guy that much.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
No, I understand that.
Like dead naming him when I call him John Johavan, I believe it is.
Johanan, yeah.
Johanan. All right, so I don't intentionally. It's just how I've always known him as. But
well, no, it's not John. It's not John that's the issue. It's J Dubs that's the issue. Because J Dubs is from a bygone era. He said you can call him by John or Johanna, and it doesn't.
All right, so just don't call him J Dubs. Which I'll respect that. I'll try not to do that. Yeah. When I'm being a shit, I'm being a shit as well, and I fully admit that. Like, I probably deserved to have the video pulled down that I was streaming last night, because I was being a dick. I was being a shit. I was saying very, very mean things about everybody. And I think that woke me up too, because I was very angry and I was raging out. I tried to, I didn't really want to talk to anybody because I was upset. And, the stream had been taken down. I didn't know why. I know we speculated that maybe you guys flagged it.
Nope, did not. We have no interest in flagging your channel.
You didn't know about it, and I think that was fairly genuine earlier. So no, I think that I was being a shit, and YouTube pulled it fucking down immediately within 20 minutes. And it did wake me up to the fact that I can't be so judgmental of other people's worldviews. I've got to allow them to be spoken and then combat against them if I need to. But just to shut down John and say, no, you're a shit person because I think you're bigoted, when he's wanting to have a conversation, I don't think that I should push that conversation away. But at the same time, like, if it were to happen, I'd have to tell him exactly how I feel. And the fact that, you can be joking, you can, and that's always, it seems to be always what he says in those situations, is those jokes aren't funny, and people are affected by those jokes. So like when he came into the Discord server, just by playing video games with the guy, I knew he wouldn't be able to really resist. And eventually, that's why I said, oh, this is going to be interesting to see where this leads, because I knew he was going to say something. And we have too many trans people in the server to really allow for that, especially in general chat, but even in the shit areas. I really want somebody just trashing on a trans person or dropping a joke at the expense of, pissing somebody off.
Right. Yeah. So, I understand that. Well, that's the other thing too.
Taking that out on you either, though. I mean, that was my
I know.
My issues with John. My issues with you is that you just stir the pot and you're a shit stirrer.
Right. But Well, we've been through this before, so I figured this was going to resolve itself eventually. I didn't think it was going to happen quite as soon as it did, but it did.
I
So that's
usually
cool.
don't stay angry for very long. Like I get angry and then I stop being angry. It's always been in my nature.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But did you see
I'll
when
always
I
stay
when
true to
I
my conviction though. Like, I will always call a spade a spade. Like I think that John is bigoted, and if he doesn't want people to think that, he shouldn't put that out there like he does.
right? Did you see that thing that I linked in the initial tweet to you with our response video? It was below. It was below that. It was part of the thread.
Maybe
It was.
I'm not very
It
good at
was.
Twitter's.
I mean, I'll send it to you really quick. It's something that Shay said that I thought was like kind of funny, all things considered. Hold on, let me fucking get it to you.
Well, Shay is like I think some, like I said, I'm not really on the Twitter all that often, so I'm not really sure of Shay's presence on Twitter, but I think Shay enjoys to. She's kind of like you in the way that she enjoys the back and forth.
The shit posting, yeah,
Yeah, she likes to shit post.
I know.
But no, I don't think I've seen what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just sent it to you. That was probably the notification you just got.
All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, I actually agree with that. That I think that's what was trying to say earlier is that
Right.
just because you say a bad thing, you're not irredeemable, and I shouldn't just fucking go off.
Yeah, that was in reference. That was in somebody else's Discord in reference to something else. And then Shay went off in your live chat yesterday, basically saying that we're castigating us, saying that we're basically a bunch of irredeemable fuckbags. So I thought that was funny. That's an interesting contrast of.
I didn't see. I need to go back and look at the side chat, but Shay is welcome to her opinion.
Right.
I'm never gonna try to say, oh, you can't think this about people.
No, it's fine. I wouldn't expect it.
I actually watching Shay grow over the last six months or so, 8 months, and seeing her take such a visible role in my side chats has been one of the things that I'm most proud of, because since I became the raging atheist, my support for trans people has it's without question. It's just I feel like right now that's the community the most that really needs to be propped up because they're being marginalized the most. And so to have support of trans people is something that I'm very, very proud of.
So my question, as it pertains to John, is what would John have to do to prove it once and for all that he's not a racist or a homophobe or whatever?
Well, for one, he could stop with the racist Native American jokes to me, and I understand the context of the joke with his of it because Joe Biden said a very stupid thing.
The same fucking day, basically. Yeah, it was still trending.
When I saw the tweet, I wasn't thinking Joe Biden and what Joe Biden had said.
No.
I do get the context of it a little clearer, but at the same time, it's those types of things that really it's what you put out that brings the perception of you. Yeah, I seen the video where he was talking about San Francisco. That's really my first impression of John. So, well, my first impression was what happened on your channel with the whole Yiddish word, and then that became a controversy once people were telling me what that was. So, I had a bad first impression, and I said the same thing to Godless Girl. Those first impressions matter. It's not like he needs to make some effort, but if he truly isn't bigoted or racist, then maybe stop making some of the comments and the jokes.
I just don't get. I don't get it, and maybe somebody can explain this to me. Why would a deeply racist, homophobic, whatever person surround himself and actively engage on a daily basis and even marry?
Well, you could
somebody. Yeah, like I've pointed this out probably about 1 million times. His wife is is from Brazil, Portuguese,
All right.
black. He
We
said,
can talk
like,
about that. So
yeah,
so
I don't
I don't
understand what the fuck.
I don't want to. So when I say that I think he's bigoted, that is based on the perception that I've gotten just from dealing with the man. I don't know him personally. Again, I should probably do a better distinction of making that clear. Although it should be self evident, to anybody that I don't know this man in person. I don't know who he is in real life. I can only
Right.
go based upon the things that I've seen and the things that I've heard from him. Um, so when it comes to having a black wife, for instance, I know plenty of
Okay.
racist white dudes that have black wives. Um,
That's fucking bizarre to me because John
I
tells a
know
story.
quite a few of them that they will, and I'm not even saying racist to where they hate black people, but they will make these statements that you just like, and they'll do it in front of their wives. So it's when we're
That's
talking
fucking
racism,
bizarre.
when we're talking racism, racism isn't just the act of doing violence or the act of holding hatred, it's perpetuating it as well. And perpetuating it can be through little snide comments, dismissive culture, and it's one thing like if you're among friends, do you like when you're in public? I think that there's a responsibility for the words that you are putting out there, and you've got to hold that responsibility. So when I rage the fuck out and I say something stupid, I try not to run away from it. I try to accept responsibility, and if I'm wrong, I try to look at that and not do that anymore.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing is, like, me and John were trying to figure out where your lines are exactly. So when people ask about, what the word was, the Yiddish word, right? Well, we say the S word, and nobody has any fucking idea what we're talking about. So in order to contextualize it for people to know exactly what was said, I kind of need to say the fucking word. So where's the line there? Because not a whole lot of people who aren't Jewish or know
Well,
what the fuck we're talking about.
it's intent behind it. So like if I'm rapping along to Tupac Shakur, I don't um censor myself from saying the N word.
Okay.
I'm rapping right along with Tupac. I'm not,
Okay.
if some black folks are around, I probably would censor myself. But like if I'm just sitting here cleaning, I've listened to this song my whole life. I know it by heart. I don't censor myself. I think it's
Right.
about intent, and if you are if you are trying to put something out there that would diminish somebody's identity, then I think that that's a big issue.
Well, that's okay. That clarifies things a little bit for me because sometimes it seems like the lines that are drawn are sort of obfuscated. So it's nice
Well,
to get a
and
clear, concise.
and I admit, like my lines, and Ali will tell you this. All of my moderators, which I tolerate more than a lot of people. I think it's
Right.
because of the old right wing mentality I used to have. I've heard it all. I've been in situations most people haven't. But I don't try to step on my moderator's toes. I try to allow them to be themselves, and have their feelings as well. And when it comes to Discord, I've really just been disinterested since around the first Nazi attempt at a raid, and that was way back in the day. In the Lucy Fur days, so like
Oh shit.
and the whole
That's
Lucy Fur thing, like I've really lost a lot of interest in even trying to really build and grow Discord. I like Discord because it's a good place to get stay in contact with people,
right.
and message people. But outside of that, I don't really care for it much. It's been a distraction. But like when it comes to these lines of what's racist and what's not, it's really to the eyes of the beholder. And I try to respect other people's opinions as well. I might not think it's really that such of a big idea, but if somebody I care about does, then I really try to take that into consideration. And
Right.
I tried to explain it a little bit to you, and even Ali said like he was on really good behavior for a long time, and then I don't know, it seemed like something changed. It was probably because I got angry about the conversation we had about the revolution and all of that shit. I got mad,
Right.
and then we, things seemed to kind of sour at that point.
does this all the fucking time. There we go. I'm back. Jesus Christ. Yeah, John and I were commiserating afterwards. I think on like Facebook Messenger or something, and we were like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about with the Native American thing?" Because like, John and I converting, even if you have documents that say that in a similar way to you in the reservation and the whole thing, even if you have documents that say that you're Jewish, your mother was Jewish, her mother's mother was Jewish, etc. ad infinitum. Even if you haven't practiced the faith before in your life, and then or they don't take DNA tests, blood quanta is not a thing. They don't, and they're skeptical of every goyim and Gentile that comes in the doors, because especially with the Tree of Life massacre now and all the rabbi that got shivved down in New York City.
Oh yeah,
so
crime against Jewish people is up astronomically in this country. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So we were commiserating about the fact that it's like there's people in your server that are like, John's a fake Jew and whatever. That's the reason that we went off and are like, he's I think John said like $2 Indian or something. I don't know what the fuck. The reason we said that, or whatever. Anyway, so anyway, we were going on about that because we have a similar experience. John was not immediately accepted.
I tried to point that out when we were live streaming. Like, I would think that, I don't know if he's ethnically a Jew or not, but you would think that being a Jew, like, he might empathize with the Native American situation a little more than.
Well, that's the funny thing, is that he looks like a Jew. I mean, there's no when he's got the hat and the whole thing, you don't know.
I figured he probably is.
Yeah, but he's not actually ethnically Jewish.
Well,
he had to go through a conversion process.
I didn't know.
I, however, am on my mother's side.
Yeah, and you look less Jewish than John.
Yeah, if I cut my hair back and shave my beard, I look like Ben Shapiro. I'm Ben Shapiro, everybody.
I can see that now that you've said it, and that's.
Yeah, I know it's fuck. It keeps me up at night. Anyway, fucking hell. But yeah, we were commiserating about that. We were like, "What the fuck are we doing? This is so fucking John even said, he was like, "Why the fuck?" He originally. Okay, so there's an episode of our show that we did, I think maybe the day before this happened, so this would have been 2 days ago, and we were doing a parody of Seeing Red, and we were talking about the other side of the thing. We didn't say that, white man didn't do nothing. We just said, this is why Christopher Columbus called them Indians. This is all about the purchase of Manhattan. This is all about the.
Christopher Columbus is not the person you want to bring up in a Native American conversation.
No, we were just talking about how they got their name. We weren't talking about Columbus.
But he's pretty much the start of the genocide.
Right, and we talked about fuck. I might still have my notes here. Give me 1 sec.
Tony Designs in the chat is saying John used to claim to be a member of the IRA. Is that?
That was a long time ago. That's why. Listen, there's good reason that he doesn't go by J-Dubs anymore. I'll say that. Let's see here.
Tony Designs knows more about John than I do.
I made a joke about a baseball bat. I guess he'll probably get that. I made a joke about supporting people that I like the other day, and I said if John starts a baseball bat factory and if Lowe's starts a dildo factory, those are.
I just recently heard that story about like what he broke out some windows in a car or some shit.
He allegedly threatened somebody with a baseball bat. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so
I just heard like somebody.
I have to be careful with what I say because I don't know. I can't remember what he tells me in private and what we say on live stream. So you just have to go watch. I don't want to fucking.
Like I'm not too interested in. I don't really try to judge people based upon their past. If people judged me based upon my past, I wouldn't have any credibility whatsoever. I try to be very open and honest about it. But I'm not worried. The things about J-Dubs doesn't my opinion of J Dubs doesn't derive from, I'm calling him that, and I don't mean to. My opinion of John doesn't derive from that period. It just derives from solely the interactions I've had with the man since I've met him.
Right. There's a lot of esoteric bullshit that goes on YouTube. A fucking dead mother. Anyway, so there's a lot of esoteric shit that's gone on for 13, 15 years, extending before YouTube into forums and stuff. And it's like, how's anybody supposed to keep track of all this bullshit? So I give people the benefit of the doubt with that shit. I just figure you don't fucking know, to be honest with you. But
and I think that's a lot of the thing too is perception, and you get worked up in the moment. I saw Brett Keen's picture, and I immediately, for some reason, just went to where you pointed. You directed me to actually watch him talk about my kid in that situation. When
no, I don't support that. No, I put. Did you see what the shirt fucking said? I can go get it. It's fucking here. I have the actual shirt.
No, I just seen his face, and then I seen John put up another thing with Brett Keen and everybody, and I was like, "Fuck! All right, now I'm really mad."
Okay, yeah, that was esoteric. Those were the original boys back in the day. That was the original Keen posse that he put up there.
Yeah. At that point, it's probably because I had already gotten a bit triggered from you, so he was just trolling me. And I mean, when I get worked the fuck up, it's. I still wasn't banning nobody, but at the same time, I'm in general chat just going the fuck off,
I'm going to go get the shirt because I want everyone to see this fucking shirt because it's funny in retrospect because when you see what the shirt says on the front of it, you're going to laugh. I'll be right back. Just give me 10 seconds.
All right, so I think it's been a decent conversation so far. Helping me get my thoughts straight a little bit. I don't know. I think that I should
I got this shirt.
Some of these tendencies about myself when I rage out. I feel terrible for the way I talk to Ali. I don't feel bad about my aunt, but I feel pretty bad about the way I talked to her last night. I really need to work on my raging out. I thought that shit would go away when beginning of the year when I stopped drinking. But I've always had that even before I ever started drinking. I'm an emotional cat. And if you catch me at the wrong moments, it usually can devolve quite quickly.
So here's the shirt. It says it's got Brett Keen's
yeah, that's what I thought it said, bigoted. Yeah.
It says bigoted on it, and it's got Brett Keen's fucking name on the back. Because people are always like, who the fuck is that? Like, just walking around with a shirt on in town. Brett Keen. So we've actually got the official license to do that, too. He's all right with us putting bigoted on a fucking T-shirt.
And this is just my thing, but, like, I don't know. The whole Brett Keen posse thing, like, I was in those groups. I saw how he treated everybody.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. Like, so if I do something that's gonna piss Brett off, he's gonna make video after video about me. It's what he does. I don't even look at it anymore.
Yeah.
But then it seems like, all right, so now the posse has to get involved and talk their shit too.
No. Brett Keen does not send us to do his dirty work. If anything, I'm the criminal mastermind here. Because John and Lo hang around me. Like, we talked to Brett, but he's basically got himself completely off of Discord. There's almost no way to get a hold of him. You have to send an email, or you have to get a hold of him on BitTube or Messenger, which is a complete fucking mess. But, did you see the fucking mug? I know I'm, like, promoting my shit, but, like, that's Cosmic John.
Yeah, I did see that. I think he posted that in the Discord.
That's a badass fucking mug. He fucking thinks it's hilarious.
So I was planning on doing a whole series of responding to your response.
And then you realized how fucking dumb that was? Yeah, me too.
I decided not to. And I'm glad that the shit was taken down, because things that are said in anger are often bullshit. I think people should talk rationally to each other. Again, that's, it's what I'm regretting the most about my conversation with Ali last night. But again, it was something that it's just a clash of philosophy when it comes to those types of instances.
Yeah, like
I think
fucking.
that me and you kind of have that as well, because I think we have a lot of the same opinions on people being able to say what they want to be able to say, but at the same time, I think that, and I don't think either one of us have much filter.
Not really.
But at the same time, there are very specific instances where we're just gonna butt heads and not agree and go
Yeah.
fucking claw each other to death until we get over it.
I did have an idea last night when we were kind of like talking on Twitter. We were tweeting at each other or something. Do you believe that Jesus is a, not to throw you a left curve here, but do you think that Jesus is a fictional character? Or do you really believe he existed?
I think that there was probably a character that the character was based off of. I think probably a Yeshua, a rabbi that was trying to maybe start a revolution against the Romans, but nothing supernatural.
Right. So me and John think that it's completely fabricated. So I was thinking, and I know that Brett and Matt would jump at a fucking chance to do this. This is why I'm pontificating here. Did Jesus actually exist? And we would be for the negative, and then they would be for the positive, and just have a debate. I was gonna suggest that you and John go for but I don't think that you want to be on John's side on anything right at the moment. So
Probably not.
no. So I suppose I throw my hat in. I haven't had a formal debate in a while. But I was thinking like maybe that would be neat.
In a debate, did Jesus exist? My answer is very complicated because I don't think Jesus existed. I think maybe Yeshua and this legend was blown out of proportion about the man.
Okay, so that's kind of a nuance on my position, because there was probably somebody that was walking around at the time that fit some of the characteristics, and then they fabricated everything else around it. So like the myth of the nativity, for example, why would they need to why would the New Testament need to fabricate this whole myth about, you know, Bethlehem and Nazarene and a fake census under a guy that wasn't even the governor at a time, and the people that weren't even kings at the time? Why would they make up all this shit if there wasn't some fucking guy that they needed to fit the narrative? So they just picked some random Jew out of probably hundreds walking around at the time claiming to be Mashiach, and then created a fake prophecy that they then distributed to the Jews to try to get them to stop revolting.
So Tony is bringing up something else. So I must have missed. Were you pretending to be a trans person on TransGarter?
I don't know if that's. I think I was okay. So this is a complicated. I never actually got to the explanation because they figured me out quick enough. So I was not actually. I was pretending to be a Digimon, and the fact that I was pretending to be a Digimon reflected trans qualities, and I actually got some of their members to agree that they wanted to merge with the Singularity, and
so you went on their server and really was trolling pretty hard.
I was Poe as a motherfucker. Yeah, that's correct.
This is new to me. I didn't know any of this happened. This is what I'm saying. Like I'm. It's a lot my fault because I'm not up in mod chat. It might have been talked about in mod chat on my server. But people don't approach me with these things, so I really don't know what's going on. And a lot of that is my isolationism. It's the way I always have been. So I'm truly not trying to just.
The character wasn't trans. The character was no gender at all.
Tony, I'm not trying to pass over it. I really don't know this situation, so this is news to me, and I do want to call you on that because even if it is Digimon, you're still intentionally portraying yourself as this, and that's.
I was trying to fit in as part of the goof.
You can understand why trans people, once that's figured out, would be very pissed off about it.
Well, I gave myself away immediately, but it took people a while. I always do that. I wouldn't completely mask it. I set my birthday. They asked me what my birthday was, and I said it is April 1st, 96. April Fool's Day. That's my actual birthday, but I was born in 93. And most people know that's my birthday because it's kind of funny because my whole life is kind of a joke. So,
So are you still on their server?
no, I'm gone. I haven't made any attempts to come back or anything like that. I've
So
got.
I think part of the problem, and maybe this is just what John and maybe even yourself just aren't understanding about it, is passive aggressive uh, attacks on marginalized peoples goes a long way into dismissing marginalized peoples farther, and that's one of the greatest fights. So to where you guys really think that you're just joking around and having fun with these things, it actually does a lot of damage and harm, especially for people trying to find equality, trying to find equal rights, trying to be accepted for the human beings they are. So I mean, they're gonna, I, rightfully so, be very outraged by those types of comments or those types of behaviors.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that I got a strong scolding afterwards from Lowe, so that's why he's on the fucking thing. As a matter of fact, last night he called me out on the blood quanta thing that we were talking about. Like, you're such a fucking shithead, Will, and he'll do that periodically. And I was like, oh man, I'm kind of
Well,
an
yeah, I
asshole.
definitely from. So I only watched about I watched about half an hour of your live stream
It
reaction.
was like 2 hours long, and
Yeah,
Tart and Snowflake came in at the end.
I was gonna watch it all live, and that was taken down. So then I started to record it, and then me and Ali started talking. And eventually I went to bed at around. So I just didn't get done what I wanted to get done. I haven't seen it all.
Right,
Probably don't want to because it'll just make me mad again. But
right.
some of it really seemed like, yeah, I did. I think I did hear Lowe stepping up and really trying to explain some of the blood quantum things. It did seem like there is this real ignorance. I'm not saying that in a derogatory sense. It's just like maybe you guys don't truly know or understand the extent of the plight of Native Americans and how much this blood quantum has come to really shape the culture as it is now.
I was talking to Lowe the other night because I had because I'm friends with my lawyer. So I was asking him about the Native American thing a long fucking time ago, and I said, "What do the natives have to do to get their shit back?" I mean, they beat back the natives all the way to fucking Alcatraz, basically, and then they're like, "No, fuck you, go to Canada," and it was like, and he's I'll just call him Bill. Is his first name. I won't dox him or anything. But I was talking to Bill, and Bill said, "Well, I know a constitutional lawyer that you could talk to about this because I don't know fuck all about this." And I'm like, "Okay." So I talked to this guy, and he said, and I don't know if this is true, but I assume it is, just because he's the authority over over me in this matter. Um, that there was a treaty at one point that was given to several native tribes, and basically all they have to do is, part of the terms are they have to come together as a single nation with some sort of governing body, like a, I don't know, like a head chief, like a president or something, and then they all sign that, and then they send it back to Congress, and then Congress is legally obliged to sign it and send it back to them, and then they get their shit back.
I'm not sure. Like that's the first I'm actually hearing about that treaty. It wouldn't surprise me because that would be very manipulative. Because there's so much blood feud and so much old animosity between some of the tribes
Right.
that would just literally never happen. In fact, like No Dapple was the first time that we had so many tribes come together over one cause, and there still wasn't. Some would refuse to come because of blood feud. So it
Yeah,
would
that's
almost be nearly an impossible thing to make that happen.
that sounds like some shit. I hate to sound racist, but that sounds like some shit the Goyim would do. To be
Well,
honest with you.
well, and we're talking about histories that go back thousands of years with some of these
Right.
tribes. So, like, where American history is really young, Native American history is really old. So and
Yeah.
there's a lot to it, and most people don't even understand that. Like I was lucky to be able to talk to people and learn about some of the stories that have been saved, but a lot of the culture was wiped out by the Europeans. So you know the story of the Native American is a tragedy, and it's I don't speak about it as a Native American. I speak about it as a white dude trying to advocate for Native Americans.
Well, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't. Okay, so here's the thing: we're not actually caught up in like what color your skin is. That was a joke. That was absolutely a fucking joke. It was like a funny back and forth that we had in the thing, and
Yeah,
then John was like,
I didn't get the orange thing because I thought y'all were Trumpers and you like orange.
"No, we're making fun of you because your head is spherical."
I have an egg head. I always have.
Yeah.
More
No,
pronounced since I can't grow hair anymore.
yeah, it didn't have anything to do with because of your head shape. It has nothing to do with. We're not.
I can take jokes about myself. I really can. It affected Allie a lot more than it affected me. Allie was very emotional over it, and she had to pull herself together before we started stream and find some anger, because Allie is an ethnical Native American to where I'm not, and so it really did.
Right.
She deals with those issues. Constantly. It's a part of her entire life, so she was more affected by it than I was. But even I was like, when I first saw it, it was like, wow. Like I even tweeted, I'm like, how much racism can you fit into one challenge? Like this is no way. Like if John wanted to have a conversation with me, that wasn't the way to go about it.
No, it's. I won't. I'll let John speak for himself at some point, but there's reasons. Everybody's got their shit. That's what I'll say about that. You know what I mean? You know.
Oh yeah,
But
and I don't know the man, but like it did even throw me for a loop, and I don't get affected because it does happen to me. Like it happened to me in real life, um, uh, at work. Not even a month ago, me and a guy I've worked with for years and years and years. We always disagree on political shit. Um, it devolved into him basically calling me a liar about having any dissent at all, calling me Elizabeth
Right.
Warren. So I've heard this Elizabeth Warren thing time and time and time again because I am a person that advocates for Native Americans and speaks about the blood that I do have, and I'm also a person that practiced the religion
Right.
for about 4 years.
Right. Well, what dragged you away from that? Because honestly, I don't have a problem if you want to identify as a Native American. I don't actually have a problem with that. We were just breaking your balls over it because we knew it was going to piss you off.
Oh yeah. I figured that's
Yeah.
and it worked.
Yeah.
What dragged me away from it was it was a lot of different issues. My teacher was a fraud. He had been proven to be a fraud. He was robbing from the tribe. He was robbing from friends that he had from his business. He had utilized tricks and manipulations through some of the ceremonies. Getting some people to use drugs to induce the hypnotic trances that you're seeking. There was a lot of things. When I was driven off the reservation because of Ted and because they just didn't want to deal with us anymore. That had a lot to do with it. Practiced the religion for quite a while. In fact, I drove my family crazy with it because they're all a bunch of Christians, and I think they accept me more now as an atheist than they ever did back then when I was into that spiritual shit and I had fucking crystals everywhere and I was beating my fucking.
John fucking said that. He said on the show the other day the Seeing Red episodes. He goes, "What the fuck is it with these goyim and worshiping rocks and sticks and shit?" It's like, John, I couldn't fucking tell you.
I still have stones. I still have crystals and shit, but it's not. I don't put any emphasis in them. It's just they're reminders of me that is no longer.
Oh, all right.
I still have my drums. Like if I get angry, like last night before I went to bed, I had to beat my drums. It calms me down, and it's probably why I was calm this morning. I woke up to a message that pissed me off, but I quickly found my calm again, and I only really get that from meditating with my drums.
Oh, there you go. See, I do. It's such a weird thing. I do a lot of things that are like my own personal. Okay, so in Judaism it's called a midhag. I guess the English word is, it's not tradition. I think it's more like culture or something like that. I don't know. Everybody has their own fucking thing that they do. But I started saying prayers for people before bed, and I know you're not going to believe me because you're an atheist, but I see things happen basically overnight. So now I get superstitious about it, and now it's me fucking sleep, to be honest with you. So yeah, I know that John or whoever in my fucking server is gonna bust balls about knock banging the drum, but I'm a nice Jewish boy who says his prayers
Well,
before bedtime. So go
it's
ahead and
it's what calms me down. Like
all
I
right.
think I'm notorious for getting angry, for getting emotional. It's why I'm alone. Like I don't run away from that. It's very hard to live with me. The only person that I've ever really just been 100% calm around is my daughter. And it's like the dynamic with her is so much different because there's this responsibility if you take fatherhood seriously that should
Right.
override everything else. So like last night when I was getting angry and she, it was upsetting her because she doesn't usually see me like that. Usually if I'm streaming and I'm getting angry, I make sure that she has her headphones on and she's into her zone, so she's not paying attention to what I'm saying or doing. So it
Yeah.
really surprised her when I was having an outburst yesterday, and it was bad. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Ali has very well a lot of reasons to be upset with me, but it wasn't anything that I wanted to happen either. It was I found myself in a position to where I had to pretty much take a stance that I'm not even sure I'm comfortable with taking, but by my code I had to take. And when the conversation didn't end, like I wanted it to be very brief, before I even knew what it was going to be about. I just went the fuck off, and my daughter's not used to seeing that, and she was disturbed by it, and I had to assure her that I was fine afterwards, because I had affected her emotionally, unintentionally, and I had to deal with that. So I think that there's this ultimate responsibility that you get as a father that kind of changes you. But
Right.
I've always been like that. Like I used to punch holes in the wall. It was me self harming myself. But it was one of the, back then. That's what brought the calm. Now I get it by beating on my drums.
There you go. Well, that's probably more constructive.
Yeah, a little
Um,
bit. It doesn't hurt as bad either.
I know this has turned into Will interviews knock about shit, but I do have lots of questions that I've just never fucking asked. So, are you saying that you are not in a relationship by choice,
Pretty much, yeah,
or
yeah. By choice.
okay?
There's a woman that I love, that we haven't been together for 4 years. We still talk. There's times when I still think that we're gonna get back together, but like it's really hard to. I don't let people in, and then
No.
um, I'm very solitary, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. So there's a lot of reasons for it. And I'm very emotional, and a lot of people can't take that, men and women alike. It pushes people away.
Yeah, I kind of used to be introverted, and then I just I just call it embrace the autism, and now like I put a video and I have to reference it all the time. The Will Kincaide eats crow and tells all. I think that's the title of the video. Just spilled my guts for like 3 hours, just raging. Just spilled just everything about my fucking life. So I found that since I've been more of an open book, I've had less issues. I fucking found my zen.
Well, yeah, and that's the one thing I don't want to take away from you or John or anything that Brett does. You guys are all being yourselves, and I try to be tolerant of it. One of the things that I'm really trying to work with myself on is being tolerant more of right leaning philosophies, because we just butt heads so much, and it's something that I've got to work on. It doesn't excuse behaviors by people, and that's the thing. John's comment did affect me, like, because I could tell that it was even in a Twitter atmosphere. I could tell that it was genuine, because it was while I was sleeping last night, I believe, that he's like, man, I don't like this drama. I wish we could come together and talk. And I thought that was genuine. See, that's the John I think that I can work
Yeah.
with, to where if he is going to be coming in and trying to drop slurs and stuff like that, well, then I would immediately be backed into a corner to where I would have to go after him just as bad.
he's not gonna do that if he is not. If you told him, hey, we're gonna do this thing, he would respect your rules, right? So like one of my rules, I think that he's probably broken it. I think maybe once during the tirade yesterday is like not misgendering people. He says that he doesn't want to do that, but he gets fucking pissed off and he's not paying attention and shit, right? But for the most part, he keeps to those rules. He's not homophobic. He explained this too in the video. He said, because we're Jews, we don't promote LGBT, is what he said. I'm just quoting him verbatim. You can criticize the language there, I guess. But he says, but he doesn't give a shit what anybody does. He says, if you want me to call you something, I'll call you whatever you want me to call you. It's not a big deal. And it's at least as long as Lowe has been in the server. We got a couple of other trans people in there, but they don't really talk that much. They just stay for the links and the memes, I guess. But as long as we've been hanging out with Lowe, I don't think, to my knowledge, that he's misgendered him once. So
well, and I think that's all I could really ask for is at least making the attempt and trying to be aware and
Yeah.
like as. So I fight against religious beliefs towards LGBTQ plus. So I would fight against that, but I would never want to take away somebody's religious independence, religious freedom, religious ability
Right.
to think anything. I would hope that there would be some way. I'm not too familiar with the Jewish religion. I would hope that there would be some way to fight back against that, like we were able to do against the Christian narrative.
Well, if you want to talk about it, you can be gay and a Jew. That's not actually a conflict of interest, and you can be trans and a Jew too. In fact, I think it's in the Talmud. There's Lo will correct me on this later. There's multiple genders. But there's two main gender roles, but it's complicated. And basically, the way it works with the transgender thing is you can be basically whatever you want. You just have to pick a gender role, and that's pretty much the only rule exactly with that. And as far as
I definitely want to understand more about the Jewish religion. It's something. It's the one form of Abrahamics that I know very, very little about.
well, that's what got me into it. Is that okay? Story time. So I started out as a Christian from birth. I was baptized twice. I had to be baptized in a Baptist church and a Catholic church because feuding families and religions. Protestants and Catholics fucking hate each other to this day still, I guess. That's another fucking stupid thing. But anyway, so I was doing... I had Catholic Mass on Saturday, and then I was doing double duty on Sunday, and then I think at around age 12, I said, fuck all this shit, and from age 12 to, I want to say about a year ago, I was an atheist, right? And then, and this was another question I wanted to ask you, but I'll have to write it down so I remember. So, I partook in the DMT, and it opened my mind up to the possibility of supernatural stuff that I just can't explain. And then I started looking around, and I had to get a DNA test for something else unrelated. It was a genetic condition, and that they were testing for. And then I decided to get the full package because they try to upsell you even at your fucking doctor's office, which is gross. But at any rate, I started looking into Judaism because I found out that there was a Jew in my woodpile somewhere. So I went looking around, and John happened to wander into a Brett Keane stream once, and I was hanging out with Brett, and I was like, oh yeah, I know who John is, yada yada yada. And I went to one of his Torah study streams. I think it was a Sunday night, or maybe it was a Thursday night. Can't quite remember. And it's like, yeah, this is good. And then I made a joke about using it to get out of work on Fridays and Saturdays. And then I started taking it seriously, and it just...
Yeah, I ragged you about the whole get out of work thing for quite a while.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a running gag. Yeah.
Well, and it is something. I never really ran across Jewish people critiquing my videos, but I mainly aim my sights at Christians.
Right. Right.
I'm not really even sure where I fall on the Jewish religion, just because I don't know too much about it. I know that like Ali and Ocean, I believe both Ali and Ocean have told me that it's more polytheistic in nature. Um,
I don't know if there's a
but
lot
there's
of different.
elements of it that I don't know. I can't remember what they told me, but for one, I think Ali has more respect for Judaism than either other of the other two forms of Abrahamic.
Well, Judaism has a lot of. I don't want to call them loopholes exactly because I don't think that that's proper, but it's got a lot of flexibility within how you practice and what you believe and stuff. So fundamentally, as long as you keep the 613 commandments to the best of your ability, and you don't betray your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is to figure out what the hell your purpose is. As long as you do that, you're pretty much. Oh yeah, and also if you're a dude, you got to get circumcised. But other than that, there's really not. It's not that many.
Well, yeah, that's become a cultural thing. I mean, shit. Like,
yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday too. I can't remember which stream it was, the earlier one or the later one. But yeah, I mean, there's some Jews believe in reincarnation. Some Jews believe in a literal interpretation like fundamentalist Christians. Some Jews practice Judaism, but they're atheists. You know, there's
I've heard about
it's
that.
As long the one thing that binds us all together is that we have a common culture and a common practice through Torah, which is the law. And everything else is sort of up for debate. Now, John believes a lot of this stuff literally. I don't know where I stand on a lot of things. He broke it down and said, here's one way to believe and here's another way. You can, okay, the Garden of Eden, maybe it wasn't literal and there was a whole thing. I don't even think he says maybe. I think he just gives the examples straight in that show. Where he says, the snake is not a literal fucking snake. It's about the evil inclination in man's heart, the temptation to do bad things. And he on his Torah study, he was explaining, there was a story about Satan comes to, I think he said, King Solomon. And Solomon had a vineyard. And Satan said, mix these animal bloods together. It was a lamb, a lion, a monkey, and a pig, and Satan cursed the grapes, right? And you can take that literally to say that literally is literally what happened, but the way that he interpreted it was, he was talking about alcoholism. It was talking about what happens when you drink too much. Don't drink too much. So you have 1 cup of wine, perfect. It's actually a commandment. We're supposed to drink in Judaism. 1 glass, but you can. But he said that there's a loophole. You can have grape juice instead. So we're supposed to drink wine specifically. If you have 1 glass of wine, you're like a lamb. Perfect. Good. If you have 2 glasses, you're like a... Yeah, right. Well, most people don't just do the 1 glass, but if you want to keep it kosher, 1 glass and no more. 2 glasses is okay. You're a little prideful. You're like a lion. You're courageous, At 3, you're acting like a monkey. You're acting like a wild animal. And at 4 glasses, you act like a fucking pig. You're just disgusting and... because pigs
glasses of wine won't even get you buzzed.
No, but it was a story. It was a story about not drinking too much. It wasn't a literal interpretation where Satan came down and cursed the grapes.
I need like a whole bottle of wine just to feel anything.
It doesn't mean you're literally going to turn into a pig with 4 glasses of wine.
Wrong button. Yeah. I want to learn more about the Jewish religion. Definitely. It seems like, they have specific practices. It seems like probably take it more serious. I know Uri Bench is he's from Israel, and he has a very, I would say, probably harsh criticism of Judaism.
Probably, yeah. There's, yeah. Well, see, this is the thing that me and John disagree with a lot of Jews on is that we don't. I know I probably shouldn't speak for him since he's not here, and this is kind of a serious thing that people will really fucking come at me for. But I know that I firmly stand. I don't believe that Jews should be in Israel right now because this isn't Torah that we're not supposed to be. We're supposed to wait for the Mashiach. As a secular state, they have every right to exist, but in my faith, I don't support it. They tell me, go back to Israel all the fucking time, especially in some of those more alt-right video platforming sites that don't like Jews too much, you know? But I don't think we're supposed to fucking be there right now.
I'm not too familiar. Like I know Christians use the reinstitution of Israel as some kind of mark for the beginning of Armageddon and Revelation.
Right,
and time.
Bringing back animal sacrifice in the third temple with the red spotted heifer, the clean red spotted heifer, and there's a whole doomsday thing. Now I read Revelation very differently. I think that the author, and this is just my poetic brain, I think that the author is saying that it would unleash holy hell if ever the marriage of the merchants, if corporations, I think would probably be a modern translation, and military power, if they were ever became the same thing. And I think that that's actually what we're seeing now. So I see it as an allegory. I don't interpret it literally. I can appreciate it for that, but I still think it's a bunch of fucking mishigash nonsense.
Yeah, I think it was gibberish written by a madman, is my opinion on Revelation.
Talking about Caesar and all this, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, man. I am sweating, and I got to run and get a pack of cigarettes.
Same. So
I do want to thank you for coming on, talking with me, despite all of our back and forths recently. I'm going to consider this shit. Maybe I will have a conversation with John. If it's a respectful one, we can talk about differences of opinion or whatever. But I'm gonna consider this. I'm gonna try to be fair and open-minded. I try to do that with everything. Like I'm still considering what happened with Jim Majors and what's going on between him and SJ. I try to.
Yeah, because John wanted to talk to Jim, wanted to have a debate with him. So I don't know.
Really, I try to consider all of these things and not rush into any decisions. Or I try to be as fair as I can, even if I have to calm down first to do so. So I appreciate you coming on, dude.
You mind if I re-upload this to my channel or?
Oh yeah, go for it, man. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'll try to make sure that it's on the channel to where people can see it. I got to reorganize this channel a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm glad we did this, and I don't want to be mad anymore. I'm trying really not even to rage anymore, and I wish I could take back times when I do. But at the same time, I will always stand true to my convictions, and if I feel justified, I'll still stand by them, even if I'm wrong for how I convey them. So, I appreciate you coming on, dude.
Cool. Awesome time. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and thanks for the few people that stopped by in the chat. I've got a lot of considering to do. I'm really trying to think about, what happened with Allie. And again, I love the girl. I'm sorry it came to this, but hopefully we'll both learn from this and be stronger people. So, man, thank you, Will. John, if you do see this, if you are listening, I'd probably be willing to have that conversation. So we'll talk, and I will see you guys soon.